Hello, thank you for joining us once again for Long Beach Treasures. Today we're going to take a tour through Bluff Park, one of the most historic neighborhoods in the city of Long Beach, with the wide tree-lined streets and stately mansions. With me today we have Catherine Morley, who's is the chair of the Bluff Park Home and Garden Fair or Tour, and Julie Bartolotto from the Historical Society, the executive director. Welcome. As I said, we are going to take you on a visual tour of Bluff Park today. Catherine, what are the boundaries of Bluff Park?
The boundaries are Ocean Boulevard up to and including 2nd Street, and then Loma to Junipero.
And if I'm not mistaken, most of the homes were built between 1903 and 1949.
That's true.
A lot of craftsmen, a lot of revivals.
Yes, yes. It's a varied architectural styles in the neighborhood.
And I understand lots originally sold from $750 to $1,800, depending upon their location.
Yes, amazing, isn't it?
What a bargain that would be today.
I know.
Well, I guess if we're ready, we can take you on a visual tour of Bluff Park. We have some beautiful pictures and some of the homes. Wealthy families from San Marino, Pasadena, and Riverside, as well as from the East Coast, build lavish homes to take advantage of the spectacular views, ocean surf, and balmy weathers, as you can see from this picture here. No wonder they picked this as a location. After the oil strike, well, we'll go on to this one.
All right. This beautiful 1905 Queen Anne structure is one of the finest in the community. The elements are typical of a Queen Anne style.
It's a beautiful home with a river rock foundation. This 1914 prairie-styled home belonged to Frank Merriman, governor of California in the 1930s. This style of architecture was originated by Frank Lloyd Wright. The style is of overlapping boxes capped with a very low-pitched tar and gravel roof. The eaves have an overhang edged by plain board called a fascia.
This is a classic California bungalow. The wood siding and the front porch with its sharply pitched roofs and the large windows in front are a hallmark of this design.
That's a beautiful home. One of my favorites.
It is.
Built in 1921, this home is reminiscent of the Italian villa style of architecture, although there are several suggestions of Greek Revival influence. Note the imposing Ionic columns gracing the porch and the decorative entablature, which are classical elements of the Greek Revival style. I believe this home is also going to be on the tour this year.
Yes, yes it is. Now, this home is a 1928 Spanish Revival. It's known as the Loins House, and actually it received a preservation award this year from Long Beach Heritage. The early resident of this home was Richard R. Loins, who was a prominent early citizen in Long Beach.
This shows another type of eclectic architecture that makes up Bluff Park and gives it a unique quality all its own. The traditional styles to form a pleasant environment. Modern speaks for itself in that it was a new concept devoid of any classical elements. You can notice there, well.
And this traditional home, sitting right across the street from the modern type of architecture, is very interesting. The stonework on the front gives it a contemporary look. It's one of the smaller homes in Bluff Park, but certainly very lovely.
This house was built for Dr. Porter, who married the only daughter of rubber magnate B.F. Goodrich. His wife died before he did, and Dr. Porter left the house to his maid, a Miss Olson. Someone once tried to steal the 2 eagles that you see in front of the home, but because they were encased in cement, they failed.
Oh, this home is a 1919 modern. It was built by Irving Gill, an outstanding innovative architect. He created this jewel when he created a jewel when he designed this home. The clean, straightforward line provides a striking contrast to the flamboyant Victorian-era styles.
This 1911 Craftsman bungalow was designed by W.J. Burgeon, who also designed the Breakers Hotel. This home was built for Mr. P.E. Hatch, who was the president of the National Bank of Long Beach, president of the Long Beach Chamber of Commerce, and also was influential in the growth of the Long Beach Harbor.
This home was built in 1922. O.S. Pittman was the designer and the builder of this home at a cost of $45,000. And the home recently underwent some extensive renovation. All the bricks were removed, numbered, and sent to the factory to be reglazed and then replaced.
This beautiful Mediterranean mansion was built in 1924 at a cost of $500,000. The structure is made of reinforced concrete and was the only building in the area to survive the 1933 earthquake without a crack. And this is my favorite home in all of Bluff Park.
This 1921 English Tudor was originally a wood structure. Mr. C.T. McGrew, a well-known Long Beach builder, added the clinker brick, giving it a more pronounced Tudor influence. The main roof is steeply pitched, as are the intersecting gables.
This remarkable eclectic house features a hipped roof, offset gables, and shed dormer built in 1917. W.C. Fields leased this house in the 1930s, and many Hollywood celebrities stayed here, among them Clark Gable and his wife Carol Lombard. It is said that the ghost of Clark Gable still haunts this home today.
This is a 1913 chalet bungalow. This home combines two styles, the rolled roof of the chalet with the shingles of the bungalow. It was owned by E.D. Hochmeyer, who was secretary.
Horkheimer of Balboa Studios.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This 1938 Cape Cod cottage was recently painted, and in such a way as to accent its best features. It has a gambreled roof, and notice the two type of dormer windows and the 6-story columns supporting the roof overhang. The dormers were added at a later date.
This 1908 California bungalow is typical of a lot of bungalows in the area, except that the center column supports aren't there. This adds a low profile and sense of scale that spans the front facade.
A romantic honeymoon in a villa on the Costa del Sol was the inspiration for this 1923 Spanish Revival home. The red-tiled roof, thick sandstone-colored walls, arched openings, indoor-outdoor continuity, spiral pilasters on the front windows, and elaborate scroll work framing the front entrance are all hallmarks of the Spanish Revival style.
This is a Mediterranean-style home built in approximately 1911. The house is unique in that the Roman columns give this house an unusual appearance. It almost looks like there should have been a second story. Maybe it was removed or perhaps never built.
Our mini White House.
Yes.
This 1910 Craftsman bungalow is one of the many in Bluff Park. At one time, First Street was known as Park Street, and the houses were numbered differently before 1919. The owners of this house will tell you all about the resident ghost, carriage house, auto barn, the original kitchen, and change from a single home to a duplex.
This is a 1921 Prairie-style home. Prairie style is known for its box shape, flat roof line, and rather plain with little ornamentation. Note the Doric column supporting the extended porch arbor. The smaller second story almost gives it an airplane look.
Built in 1905, this chalet-style home was constructed on a foundation of creek rock, which extends to the front porch and its supports. The high-pitched gable roof has two offset gables to the front, while the porch cover is shed in styling. A beautiful, beautiful home.
That was on the tour last year, Harvey.
And it just sold.
Yes, it did. This beautiful Cape Cod cottage was built in 1906. It is said that the Dick Van Dyke Show used this home for their television show. However, in talking to the present owner, she said she thought it was the television show Hazel.
This is a cute little bungalow.
It's very cute and different.
Built in 1925, this Spanish Revival home has a tile roof, stucco exterior, arches, and notice the fixed ionic column on the second floor exterior, and the leaded glass window in the entryway. The clean lines and openness of this home gives it a very formal and elegant appearance.
This large Mediterranean-styled home with its red-tiled roof, arches, and wrought-iron railings on the upper balconies makes this home unique. The water fountain in the front yard provides a relaxing sound and gives the house a very serene look. You've done a beautiful job restoring the inside also.
This is a 1908 Queen Anne in Classical Revival. This lot was assessed at $750 in 1908 before the house was built. An eclectic Victorian showing aspects of both the Queen Anne and the Classical Revival. The windows are sash and leaded and the front door is glass paneled and has dentils.
This home was built in the late 1930s, early 1940s. It's streamlined modern. Note the curved lines, the parallel lines for decoration, the flat roof, and the flowing lines which allude to the speed of the machine age.
This beautiful home has undergone a complete restoration. The owners have lovingly and carefully restored the home to its original beauty. Notice the multi-paned windows on the second story and on each side of the large windows on the ground level. The railing on the long pitched roof is very craftsman in style.
This is a 1925 Tudor Revival style built by an attorney, Roland Swaffield, and he was directly responsible for winning the original Tideland suit, which brought millions of dollars to the city. Notice the structure behind the house. It reminds us of the need for the preservation of neighborhoods.
This elegant two-story classic box built in 1905 with its balanced windows and columns, solid square shapes and front door adorned with side lights and a fan light creates and maintains an atmosphere of harmony and order. This house is considered the queen of the street. And this also was on last year's tour.
Yes, it was. This is a 1926 English Tudor. After oil was discovered on Sarah Dell Morris's chicken ranch at Signal Hill, she assisted in the building of this home with her attorney, Mr. Swaffield. She then married her chauffeur and they delved into society.
The Cannon TV series was filmed there, by the way. This home has undergone a change in recent times. The swimming pool and landscaping are 1987 addition. The home sits far back behind the swimming pool and the entry has been modified to enhance the French Normandy influence. This is quite unusual and attractive.
It is. This Spanish Revival home with its wooden balconies on the second floor and red-tiled roof represents the perfect picture of a Bluff Park home. Notice the stenciling around the doors and windows and over the garage itself.
This 1922 Mediterranean Revival is a copy of an Italian villa and is noteworthy for the grape theme in its decoration. The plaster decorations around the windows consist of grape and grape leaves, and the hanging light in the porchway has a grape theme. Harvey Lockridge was the architect.
This traditional-looking colonial revival house almost makes you want to wait around to see June and Ward Cleaver come out of the front door. The home was designed by Harvey Lockridge, who did the Minnie Butler House, and also the Insurance Exchange Building and the Jurgen Strauss Building.
This large craftsman bungalow is typical of the many craftsman homes to be found in Bluff Park. The craftsman-style home were the hallmark of Charles and Henry Green of Pasadena, who were major contributors to the arts and crafts movement between 1895 and 1920. We're just about out of time. We're going to have to go to break and come right back because we have more beautiful homes on Bluff Park, so we'll be right back.
Over the coming months, Charter Communications of Long Beach will be offering Charter Pipeline, our high-speed internet data product. Recently, Pacific Bell has claimed that cable modem technology has speed and capacity problems. We have spent a considerable amount of money to ensure that such claims are and will always be false. Our technology is speed programmable, and our systems are built in such a way as to ensure that capacity problems are identified and it will be impossible to hog the web.
Do you think you got what it takes to be funny? Well, there's a new show coming to town called Funny Farm, where you're the star. Just send us a VHS tape of 1 to 3 minutes in length, showing your craziness, your silliness, showcasing your talent, and you could be committed to the Funny Farm. There's going to be lots of insane prizes, and you can be named Wacko of the Week. Just send us your non-returnable tape to 2931 Redondo Avenue, Long Beach, 90806. You should be committed to the Funny Farm.
KLON-FM 88.1, America's Jazz Station. Visit our website at www.klon.org.
On Charter Channel 3's local programming, we're not selling French steam cookers. We're selling Long Beach, the people, the places of interest, and all the great things to do. Charter Channel 3, 5 to 8 p.m. Programs you won't see on DBS. Listen, learn, live. You're invited to participate in AIDS Walk 2000, taking place Sunday, May 7th on the Long Beach Promenade. No one is untouched by HIV/AIDS, and by walking or sponsoring a walker, you can make a difference in how this disease is treated in our community. Get involved. Call 987-5200 today to find out how you can make a difference.
Welcome back to Long Beach Treasures and our tour of Bluff Park. So away we go.
This 1924 Spanish Renaissance home was originally built for $9,000. Note the ceramic tile hipped roof, colonnaded open porch, and rounded arches. Also, they have beautiful coining on the second story that appears smaller because of the balcony.
This 1939 Modern International is an eclectic style home that shares modern and maybe a little of the international style. Was built at a cost of $8,500. The turquoise and peach ceramic of the front steps and walkway, the casement windows, brick accents around the door, and the porthole windows at the entry are modernistic features.
This is a 1923 Spanish Revival home built by the renowned builder C.T. McGrew. This large two-story structure is square in plan. The red tiled gabled roof is typical of Spanish Revival architecture.
Rarely seen in Long Beach is this 1920 airplane architecture, where the second story is much smaller than the first, giving the appearance of a cockpit. This home being one of the most elegant in the use of mullioned windows and turned porch supports.
This is a 1930s or early 1940s streamlined modern apartment building. The identifying features of Art Moderne are smooth wall surfaces, usually of stucco, flat roof, usually with a small ledge at the roof line, and horizontal grooves of lines and walls.
This 1895 Victorian is the oldest house in the Bluff Park Historic District. Notice the side lights on the corner angled porch, which is unusual. The gables contains fish scale shingles and the walls are narrow clapboard siding. The wrought iron fence, which is not shown, might possibly be original.
This two-story craftsman-style house is a bed and breakfast, the only one located within historic Bluff Park.
Originally owned by Colonel Charles and Laverne Hartwell, this fine colonial revival residence was designed by C.T. McGrew and built in 1914. The house still contains memorabilia from the time when the city was incorporated, and this is one of the homes that will be on this year's tour.
Yes, and they're said to have a ghost also.
That's right.
This Federalist-looking apartment building is unique to the architecture of Bluff Park. The red brick accented with arched windows on the second floor and the columns flanking the front entryway makes this truly a unique addition to Bluff Park.
This 1920 colonial revival house is rectangular in plan, symmetrical in style, and capped by a turreted hipped roof and closed eaves. The entrance is wide, flanked by side lights with a fan light above. The fan light motif is carried out above the French-style doors. Beautiful, beautiful home.
And this charming home was built in 1908, and it's the home of the Bladenhauser family. Mr. Bladenhauser was the administrator of Harriman Jones Clinic and very instrumental in getting the Bluff Park district defined and named a historic district.
This lovely home, built in 1913, exhibits many qualities of shingle styling found during this era. It is a square in plan with exposed beams and a latticework attic vent. There is a balcony with an unusual railing of carved wood planks in a wave pattern. The windows are double hung with the exception of the first story front enclosed porch.
This is a 1913 craftsman's shingle style home. This home is very interesting because it originally was on Ocean Boulevard, and the present owners moved it to a vacant lot in Bluff Park to save it from being destroyed.
This home, with its red tiled roof, arched windows, and entryway, are trademarks of the Spanish Revival style of architecture. Note the ornate wrought iron grille work on the front door and the two arched side lights on either side of the entry, which can be opened.
Another example of architecture available in Bluff Park is this duplex. It has a Moorish influence with arched openings on the second story and the arched entryway. Notice the dentil molding on the roofline. This building is an exceptional example of the uniqueness of Bluff Park.
This 1912 Mediterranean-styled home is symmetrical, and the arch setting on carved brackets over the door gives it a dramatic effect. The second-story windows have a craftsman influence with the row of long, slender windows with the double panes of glass on top. The bay window in the middle of the second story breaks the straight line of the home. And this concludes our tour of Bluff Park. This gives you an example of some of the homes that are going to be available on the tour, and so we thank you and we look forward to the tour. Now, Julie, I want to talk to you about the Harriman Jones Clinic. This, of course, is located at Broadway and Cherry.
It was built in 1930 by Kenneth Wing for Dr. Harriman Jones, and Dr. Harriman Jones had a unique idea of an association of physicians who have a variety of specialties, who have a shared practice in one single building. So he worked with Kenneth Wing to have this Harriman Jones Clinic built there. It was originally built with a 50-bed hospital, and it was very homey inside. Each patient would be delivered flowers when they were admitted to the hospital.
And it's early Italian Renaissance by design. Valiant efforts were made to save the building in its entirety. However, only the outside facade will be preserved. Gone are the soda fountain, the library, the living room with its large fireplace and homey atmosphere. This gives you an idea what it looks like now while it's undergoing restoration. Certainly it has lost the glamorous edge that it once had, but looking through the entryway here, and this entryway will be preserved, although it will be enclosed and it will not be used as an entryway, but for all appearances from the outside it will look like it still is an entryway.
In 1960, they closed the hospital portion of the clinic, but the clinic remained open until 1989.
And remained vacant for well over a decade because I live just down the street from this, so this was in my backyard. So everyone in Alamedas Beach was pleased when something started to happen and bring this back, at least partially, to its original position. The outside, this gives you an example of the beautiful living room and the fireplace. Certainly doesn't look like a typical doctor's waiting room. Oh, and this is the old soda fountain and the drugstore. I had many sandwiches sitting on one of those stools there.
And that soda fountain was supposed to be one of the last soda fountains in a drugstore functioning in Long Beach. So.
And we still have that soda fountain in storage.
Yes, Ken Larkey has that in his collection. So.
And I understand that this eventually is going to be a store, probably belong to a major drugstore chain. So time will tell. Okay, let's have some announcements. You have a banquet coming up here very shortly, so tell us about it so we can fill up the room.
Yes, the Historical Society of Long Beach is having its annual dinner gala and fundraiser. It will be held on June 1st at 6 o'clock at the Breakers building in the Empire Ballroom. And as many of you may know, the Historical Society is developing a new space in the Breakers. We're in the remodeling process right now, but we really encourage everyone to come to the fundraiser to help support the society and raise funds to develop the new space there.
Good.
You can call the phone number, which is 495-1210, to request an invitation be mailed to you.
Save me a seat. I'll be there.
Great.
Catherine, now you give us all the information on Bluff Park, because we're going to have a tremendous turnout after they've seen the homes that you have in Bluff Park. They're going to beat a path to the doors.
Well, this is our second annual Bluff Park Home and Garden Tour. It's called Treasures of Bluff Park. And we have 6 homes and gardens that we will be viewing, and then one just the garden only. And these homes represent the various different architectural styles that are prominent in the Bluff Park neighborhood. And they're very lovely homes. Each one is unique and special. It's very interesting to see how people have adapted an older home to today's lifestyles.
Can you give us a time and the cost?
Yes, it's on June 4th, which is a Sunday, from 1 to 5, and the cost is $18 for advance tickets.
And they get those by calling Long Beach Heritage?
Yes, they can call Long Beach Heritage and request the information to be sent to them.
I went last year and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And there are some homes that are on this year's tour that I've been wanting to go in for a long time. And this is one way we get to do it. I want to remind you also that on Saturday, May 13th, up at Rancho Los Cerritos, they're going to have the Restoration Fair. This is going to run from 12:30 to 4:30, and the cost is $4. So if any of you have older homes that you are thinking of restoring or want to make some changes, this is an excellent opportunity for you to be able to talk to architects, to be able to talk to people in the fields of restoration. So I encourage you to come on up. Next month, we hope to take a tour of the historic Minnie Butler House and also the historic Breakers Hotel. So if you enjoy the programs, we hope that you will tell your friends and neighbors about us and have them tune in every Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 5:30. So join us again next month when we take another walk through history and discover more Long Beach treasures. Thanks for joining us.